Hi there folks, my name is NovaWrap and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 4th of June 2017 and we are here with another elephant in the room. So as it hinted at in last week's show and as was sort of announced by Lockheed Martin, Lockheed Martin's Prepared 3D version 4 has finally become available. So 30th of May it was released. So this is their 64-bit offering to the flight simulation world. That is now meaning that the two leading the sort of two fully developed platforms, so that's X-Plane 11 and Lockheed Martin's Prepared 3D version 4, and the still in early access in development platform of Dovetail Games Flight Sim World. All three of them are now fully 64-bit. So look, I'm not going to go into it too much. Basically, the highlights of what Lockheed Martin are flogging us is the fact that it does offer native virtual reality support, which is a big one. They've also updated vector data for large tracts of the world, updated 3D model placement of several of the larger cities around the world, updated SRTM data as well for Southeast Asia and Middle East regions, which is actually pretty cool and really important. So yeah, there's some decent stuff that's been added in here. They've now added in it's not added in, they've re-added in a video recording capability. It was actually always there in FSX. It's just come back in as a better quality and more customizable now as well. The sensor system has been reworked and redone to make the infrared sensor views a lot more dynamic as well now. We've got a new 3D rain and snow system, which is something that Dovetail Games previously was pushing with their Flight Sim World. We're now seeing that in Lockheed Martin's Prepared 3D. Their speed tree system has now been diversified to encompass the entire world and not just selected airports around the world. And they've updated a few other various little texture updates as resolution things, along with the avatar system has had an overhaul with new avatars put in there as well as new and updated default vehicles. A lot of the default aircraft that were there previously have been gutted out and replaced, so that is something to be aware of as well. And of course, because it is a full release, it has come out with a fully compatible SDK and an updated version of SimConnect. So yes, that is available for $60 for the academic edition, $200 for the professional edition, and $2,300 for the professional plus edition, available now from Lockheed Martin's website. Yes, I do have it. Yes, I've had a muck around in it. Short version is it's version 3 in 64-bit. Look, there's been a few, there is some updates to it, but fundamentally, they've just dropped this in a 64-bit. I'm not really seeing a huge amount of update here, and the fact that developers are still working to start rolling out updates of their products to make it compatible. Look, there is a really good interactive list going at AvSim, which is letting you know what add-ons are compatible with, or in the work is being conducted to make your add-ons compatible with it. With version 4, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Of course, the big one that was released into beta and has now been released into as a sale version is the infamous and ubiquitous FSUIPC. So FSUIPC version 5 has just been released. So it's coming in at 30 euros, so $35 US, coming in exclusively for P3D version 4. It is still an in development piece, so Pete Dowson is still working for it. and still working on it to make it more compatible and go from there. Though interestingly enough, the guys over at SPAD Next have, which is a very very similar tool from the look of things to FSU IPC, does many of the similar things and things that FSU IPC doesn't do. That is also compatible with P3D version 4, along with being compatible with Tough Dragons Flight Sim World as well, which is kind of cool as well. So yes, but yes, FSU IPC version 5 available now, coming in at €30, available now from Sim Market. Alright, now that we've got the elephant in the room out of the way, I'm covering off one that I forgot to do last week. I'm really sorry, guys. I did miss this one in last week's news. So Just Flight released their PA28R Turbo Arrow. So this is a sort of an update of the original, of the earlier Arrow. And was designed and made during the 1970s, late 1970s, offering a turbocharged variant of their original Arrow. So offering a cruiser style, very very similar to a Cherokee. In its design and its purpose. And look, this is from the same Just Flight team that brought us the Tobago and Trinidad, the Tornado, which I have very mixed feelings about, and the TriStar Professional and the Canberra, which were very solid releases. So it's a very highly detailed model of both the Turbo Arrow 3 and the Turbo Arrow 4, using a real-world aircraft, real-world plans, incredibly detailed cockpit and fully functional cockpit as well, from what I can see here as well, which is very very interesting, with fully functional avionics, custom built, custom designed for the system, including the Piper Auto Control 3B unit, which is a notoriously challenging unit to actually operate, as I saw in the rendition of it from Aeroplane Heaven. So yeah, it's a really interesting and a really solid representation of this aircraft, available now from Just Flight for $42 or your original equivalent, available from the Just Flight store, available now. Alrighty, moving on with other simulation releases now for the week. As I said, we're sort of with the P3D releases, everybody's sort of like scrambling to catch up, so nobody really else has really released a great deal this week. Everybody's playing catch up at the moment. So we're going to have a look at other simulation releases. So there were actually a couple of, well, I use the term flight simulation here very, very loosely. These titles, one of these titles was Flying Tigers Shadows over China. So basically this is an arcade game, reminding me of some stuff that I used to muck around with on consoles back in the day. It was very much a console feel, where you actually putting you in charge of various different aircraft, including some sort of underrepresented aircraft from the flight sim community as well. Things like the Brewster Buffalo, like you don't see that very often. Anyway, so yes, as I said, Flying Tigers Shadows over China sets you as a pilot, taking on various battles over the CBI, or China Burma India theatre, including the Hump route. So it is a kind of forgotten theatre of war, but very interesting. But yes, this is an arcade game. It claims it has simulation elements. Some of its aircraft feature cockpits, some don't, so just be aware of that. But yeah, as I said, it is primarily an arcade game. So maybe if you're looking for something for just a bit of a just give yourself a little bit of a break from a full simulator, this might be one maybe to have a look at, just purely for the interest sake of some of the weird and wonderful aircraft they got included in that. Base title is coming in at $15, with the deluxe edition, which includes the 2 pieces of DLC, which is an extra map, 2 extra aircraft, and the soundtrack. That is coming in at $20 for the deluxe edition. So yes, available now on Steam. In the other flight simulation arcade release, we saw Iron Wings released this week. Again, very much a sort of look at this sort of like arcade style. Actually, this one I kind of appreciate, because it literally says, it is an arcade game. We're not a simulator. Like, it literally says that in the description. So I'm full props to you guys for just just owning that one. That one's really cool. There is no historical accuracy, nothing even attempted in this one. This one uses a tried and true storyline of a secret team of Nazi archaeologists and scientists trying to unearth secrets of the occult, and you taking out a special operation to stop them. So it's a tried and true storyline. Marvel have used it for decades, and got away with it. And it's now transitioned across to here with an arcade game. And look, again, it's got a couple of weird, wonderful, interesting aircraft coming in at $20 US. Yeah, just it's not a sim. It's an arcade game that features airplanes. Let's just roll with that. But yes, as I said, available now on Steam. Iron Wings available now, $20 US, available now on Steam. Alrighty, moving on to other simulation releases this week. So moving something a little bit more realistic this week. So we saw the first piece of DLC for Notruf 112, or Emergency Call 112, the Firefighting Simulator released from Aerosoft. So yes, the first piece of DLC, the KF, or the Das Kleines Fahrzeug. Which it's, as I said, it's an emergency sort of command vehicle designed for, sorry, not command vehicle, a technical assistance vehicle. So it's a lot more of the technical tools that they may use for actually sort of unblocking drains, or for the closing water pipes, and bringing out branches that might be endangering power lines and things like that. It's a lot more the technical side of things here. Fully interactive devices and equipment comes into this one in a fully highly detailed model of a VW T4. So yeah, very interesting for a really solid sim, and a very detailed add-on for this one, with a whole slew of new missions and deployment scenarios included with this one as well. So as I said, coming in for $15 US, or your regional equivalent, available either on Steam for the Steam version, or available directly from Aerosoft if you have purchased the Aerosoft version from the Aerosoft web store, available now. Alright, we're still sticking with wheeled vehicles. So we saw the release of MXGP3, the official motocross video game. So the motocross world is kind of interesting, and there's been a few titles sort of trying to explore the motocross world over the last sort of few years. None of them particularly well. But this one, they've actually basically thrown everything out previously. So instead of trying to rebuild from a previous from 1 and 2, they've actually just thrown everything out, completely rebuilt from the scratch using Unreal and the Unreal 4 engine, and going through some very beautiful looking, visually it looks absolutely stunning. It really does. Physics wise, I'm not sure. I'd be intrigued to hear from anybody who has actually got it. But overall, it's looking, as I said, visually, it's looking absolutely stunning. It really does. So it's got all 18 official tracks of the Motocross GP track from the 2016 season, as well as the MX2 season as well. So, and looking at looking at the two-stroke bikes. So, really interesting. Various different components where you can customize your bike, all completely licensed and official content licensed from the Motocross group. So there's a lot of customization with there, going through with your standard bikes as well as two-stroke bikes. So a bit of variety there, something a bit interesting, a bit different. I'm definitely going to say, just if you're into the motocross thing, I think this might have been the title you might actually have been waiting for, because I think this looks absolutely stunning. So there you go. But yes, if you are wanting to grab that one, coming in at $50 US, available now on Steam. Alright, sticking with ground transportation, but moving on to the permanent way. So we saw a release of a new route add-on for Dovetail Games Train Simulator this week. So we saw the Netherfield Nottingham Network route added on. So it's sort of like a northern and Midland Railway set of lines, going up through the Nottingham area. Now this includes this is actually one of the bigger packs I've seen them release in quite a while, and especially considering that the price is fairly low as well. So this is a route that's actually sort of doesn't actually see a lot of the route actually doesn't exist anymore, and most of it's very much an historical route. But this includes over 40 miles of track included, including for over 40 miles of sort of post-war of track between, sort of picturing the areas between sort of late 1940s going through to the mid 1960s, when the line sort of fell into disuse. Now, included with this as well is five locomotives. You're getting eight career scenarios, as well as 3 railfan mode scenarios, so you can actually get some photos of some AI steam trains coming through there as well. A whole slew of rolling stock and freight wagons as well. Looking, as I said, the content in here, like looking at the quality of the trains that have been modeled in here, as well as the route, it's a pretty amazing amount of detail in here for works that is for both passenger and freight lining. So it's looking very interesting, as I said, and coming in for only $20 which is, I think, very, very low cost for most of the add-ons that are available for Train Simulator, especially considering the content. So yes, available now on Steam for your simulation pleasure. All of the trains, of course, are fully quick drive compatible, and come everything that you need include there as well. So available now on Steam. Alrighty, and rounding out the simulation release news for this week. So this one is one for the VR fans, and this one is for the VR and the Star Trek fans. Now this one, I've been sort of hearing about this and sort of heard about this a little while ago. I kind of was a little skeptical of it. I'm not a huge fan of... I actually, let me rephrase. I'm not a huge fan of old Star Trek. I'm a bit more of a fan of the new Star Trek. So this is Star Trek Bridge Crew, where this is a cooperative multiplayer title. You can do it as a single player, but it is designed to be an online cooperative multiplayer, where you work together with your fellow crewmates and you take on the role of being a member of the bridge crew of the USS Enterprise, and take it on adventures and to boldly go where no other ship has gone, where another ship and VR game have gone before. Look, it looks quite immersive, quite interesting. There's been a few titles working towards this online cooperative multiplayer over the last few years, and this one is definitely looking visually very stunning and very interesting, and of course it is a very very famous setting as well, so looking kind of cool. So it allows you to serve in the role of either captain, helm, tactical, or engineer. So you work together with your other 3 members of your bridge crew to actually coordinate your actions and to complete various missions that are assigned to you. This is available, coming in at $60, available on Steam or from Ubisoft directly through their Uplay client. As I said, VR is required. There's no option to not play this without VR equipment. But if you are into the Star Trek universe, but as I said, just bear in mind, because it does need to be played with other people. So it's not something. Although technically it does say single player, it kind of just would destroy the whole point of it. So yeah, it could. These are some very interesting scenarios. There you go. But yes, if you are into that and do want to replicate being a part of a bridge crew of the USS Enterprise, this would be the title for you, available now on Steam and Uplay now. Alright folks, that does wrap up the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much, George, for joining me. Don't forget, folks, that I am going to be at FlightSimCon. So FlightSimCon 2017 in Hartford, Connecticut is on next weekend. I will be in attendance. There is going to be a fantastic weekend with developers from all over the world coming together, with flight simulation enthusiasts also from all over the world, coming together to celebrate all things wonderful about flight simulation, to be able to go through, see all some of the great products that are out and that are coming up, and of course the panel discussion that is going to be there between Laminar Research, between Lockheed Martin, and between Dovetail Games. That is going to be an absolutely amazing thing to see. It really is. I'm working with Belgio. Belgio and I will both be in attendance. We're going to work together to make sure we cover that one off in detail for you guys. Hopefully get some footage up for you next weekend. But yes, so there will be no NovaWrap next weekend. There will also be no NovaWrap the following week either, because I am taking the opportunity after FlightSimCon to take a little bit of time to myself. I need a holiday. I need a break. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So so I'm going to get a lot of coverage. There's a lot of videos, a lot of detail I'm going to get during FlightSimCon. But many of the videos are going to wait till I'm back back in Australia and I'm back actually to all my processing equipment. So I will do a few things while I'm there, but most of it will wait till I'm back in Australia, and I am going to take a bit of time off. So there you go. I have got some videos to keep you entertained while I am away, but yes, just wanted to let you know there will be no NovaWrap for the next 2 weeks, so enjoy without hearing my voice. Finally, as a final wrap up though, is that I have launched a personal vlog channel. I don't know how many of you are actually interested in what I do away from the flight simulation world, but if you are, I do have a personal vlog channel which I have kicked off in the last week. That's sort of there for my things that I do away from the flight simulation, away from the gaming world. So there will be some travel stuff on there. There will be a lot of things about what I do when I'm not on the virtual camera and behind in virtual controls. So yeah, if you are interested and want to see another side of me, head over there to have a look over there, have a look at the channel. A few more opinion pieces will be coming there as well, and subscribe, like and subscribe that channel if you do enjoy those and want to see find out more about me as well. So there you go. Alright folks, that wraps it up now. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget as always to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.